Hey students, welcome to another Mr. Ness screencast. Today's aim is development and debt. And here are your objectives. Please pause the video, look these questions over, and get ready to copy some vocab terms and take some notes. Let's start by continuing our investigation of Rostow's model of development. In the last video, you looked at 3 of the things Rostow encouraged countries to do in order to increase their development. Get rid of tariffs, get more foreign direct investment, and focus on their comparative advantage. All 3 of those things happen in special areas of LDCs called islands of development. That's what you learned about in the last video. Today, we are going to focus on the last aspect of Rostow's model, privatization of industries. And you're going to learn some of the ways that MDCs have pressured LDCs to get rid of government involvement in the economy and privatize their industries. The World Bank and the International Monetary Fund, also called the IMF, are 2 international financial organizations that give loans to developing countries and encourage international trade. Both are headquartered in Washington, D.C. in the U.S. So let's say that an LDC wants to create an island of development to attract foreign investment, but its government doesn't have the funds to do so. So the government will turn to one of these banks, either the World Bank or the IMF, and ask for a loan. And it might use that loan to build up an island of development to attract investors, and hopefully that foreign investment will boost the country's economy enough that the government will be able to pay back the loan. But often, LDCs are unable to pay back the loan on time and they go into debt. And if they go into debt, the World Bank or the IMF can punish them by forcing them to undertake what is known as austerity or structural adjustment. You learned a little bit about austerity when we talked about the Greek debt crisis. Austerity or structural adjustment refers to policies that require the government to make changes in order to get relief from their debt, or to continue receiving more loans. Here's what the World Bank or IMF might require the government to do. First, they might be required to cut spending on public services like healthcare or education. The goal is to get the government to take funding away from these services and put it towards either repaying its loans or focusing on its comparative advantage. So instead of spending money on schools, the government is encouraged to spend money on building plantations or factories or infrastructure to help make these things profitable. This is extremely controversial because basic services like schools or hospitals, which are meant for the country's local population, get sacrificed in order to focus on things like factories, which cater to foreign companies. The second thing that austerity requires governments to do is privatize their industries. If you think back to the self-sufficiency approach to development, many industries in countries like India or Mexico were run or heavily influenced by the government. The goal of austerity is to prevent this by forcing countries to hand over industries to private companies, usually owned by foreigners. So, for example, the electricity or the water supply, which might have previously been run by the government, will be sold off to a private business. This is also extremely controversial because citizens might see it as a loss of sovereignty. In other words, decisions that used to be made by the government now get to be made by foreigners, foreign companies. Austerity is therefore a way to force countries to adopt Rostow's ideas, whether they really want to or not. If you'd like to learn more about austerity and how it affects LDCs, I recommend watching a short clip of this documentary, Life in Debt, which discusses the impact of austerity on the country of Jamaica. You can see it by scanning this QR code. This is optional, you don't have to watch it. You'll learn more about the World Bank, the IMF, and austerity in class. And now it's time to review the objectives. If you don't know the answer to any of them, just rewind the video and look again. See you in class. Bye, students.